Hello and welcome all into the last DuckTales analysis video for probably some time, considering how the last few still haven't aired quite yet, but I will be prepared. Most likely. So today's special is about yet another legend inside of the journal of Isabella Finch, only this time it seems to be a possession of the Ducks themselves. The episode includes the return of Shadow Blot, so you know darn well that we shouldn't be wasting any more time on this introduction. Without further ado, ladies and gents, roll the film. Right at the beginning, we're starting off with Webby narrating about Scrooge and the gang's trip to McDuck Manor, redeeming herself from the previous time present here before. Going the lengths as far as keeping a tape recorder handy with her to ensure proper documentation, even asking Scrooge's mother questions rather than glaring out into the distance. One major thing that was noticed at first hand when they arrived was the mysterious disappearance of the magical mist that apparently hide the castle from being seen, with the exception of once every 5 years. And as it turned out, Scrooge's theory of it being due to magical drainage ended up being an accurate assumption, as it's revealed that none other than Shadow Blot returns once more. Only this time, he seems to possess a new gadget to withstand even more magic consumption when compared to the last time he absorbed too much from Lena, for example. In the meantime, Huey explains about the bagpipes written inside of Finch's journal titled The Blessed Bagpipes of Clan McDuck.
Oh, that's why he says it.
An artifact given the capabilities of bringing life to inanimate objects. During Louie and Huey's adventure looking for the ancient item, we're introduced to yet another one of Scrooge's long-lost relatives, Matilda. Someone who also fell victim to being immortal after being exposed to the magical stone Scrooge set in place used to preserve the mansion. Surprisingly enough though, there still hasn't been any news on Hortense and whether or not she may be living. However, Frank Angona seems to have said that both Hortense and Matilda should be both living. The last time we heard of her supposed time living was within the past story between Scrooge, Della, and Donald. Also, fun fact, I did a little bit more research and as it turns out, both Donald and Della are 36 years of age. At least according to Wikia. Couldn't find a primary source. But just assuming that this show is taking place within the year of 2017, they may have been born around the early 1980s, while the flashback was within the 1990s. Going back to Matilda, as opposed to her brother Scrooge, she tends to come up with some of the weirdest business ideas, yet she's treated as the favorite by Fergus despite this. I mean, Fergus blames Scrooge for nearly everything.
Scrooge, what did you do?
We were all standing right here.
Whiskers, what has Scrooge done to you?
Me? It was Matilda!
Oh, now you broke my castle and my foot.
I broke. If you don't like how I do things, you can call one of your other kids instead.
While Downy the mother shows more compassion towards Scrooge's point of view for most situations.
Tatties are for children who follow the rules. What did I tell you? Animals live outside!
Moving back with Huey and Louie, they eventually follow Downy to potentially discover the location of the bagpipes, while Shadow Blot and his now official partner Pepper from Blot's original introduction are revealed from the shadows.
I've already learned so much. How to suck up magic mists, how to become one with the shadows. Am I talking too much? Because I talk too much. Am I talking too much?
And yep, right off the bat, you can already determine that Pepper is voiced by none other than Amy Sedaris, aka everyone's beloved character from Star Vs. And then, I just gotta mention Princess Carolyn from BoJack Horseman. During this opening scene of their reveal, Pepper mentions that the reasoning behind why she had to come along was that it was a requirement of foul agents to come in groups for missing mystery missions, which is a smart move for security purposes in case of possible betrayals. It's also important for me to note how Pepper addresses Mr. Buzzard as the director, so my theory about Black Heron referring to someone else as being the director pretty much is a flop. Shadow Blot and Pepper ultimately in the end even managed to gather enough intel about the bagpipes, including studying the different symbols that lead you to them. Flashing back over to most of the DuckTales is where the location of the legendary McDuck statues take place. Now of course we got some familiar Ghost Duck family faces alongside with other icons already mentioned such as Murdoch. Oh, and by the way, not too sure if I was the only confused viewer, but whenever Matilda turns her head facing Murdoch when she says Danny's name, I first assumed that the girl twin's name was Murdoch, not Danny. And in speaking of statues and legends, this soon becomes yet another argument about who is the potential next prodigy of Clan McDuck worthy enough for being a statue in the future. Don't know why this becomes an argument between Matilda and Scrooge. Clearly Scrooge is more worthy. But then it not only is a wrestle between the siblings, but then the triplets as they fight about being Scrooge's favorite and finding the bagpipes. I love how it escalated from Scrooge fighting with Matilda for secretly stashing away a clump of hair as his pet, which by the way was a clever touch considering their poor background, to soon arguing about who's the worthy next of kin for being the next McDuck to be statued. Unsurprisingly enough, however, Blot and Pepper take advantage of this convenience of a distraction and decide to try and take the bagpipes without being noticed. This of course backfires as Pepper accidentally blasted during their little family therapy session, and so the ancestor statues of Clan McDuck awaken and also begin to start arguing again. As opposed to Pepper and Blot, who surprisingly become closer as the Duck family continue to be somewhat confrontational after Pepper reveals that she was the only foul agent willing to volunteer beside Blot. The Ducks, however, pull together soon as well after Webby's near-death experience to a gigantic pillar after blaming herself for, in a way, supposedly destroying the McDuck's legacy. And so the entire Duck family surrounds them, which encourages Pepper to shoot out another blast, which was something that piqued my interest. Because this time, because the now alive statue was shot by the blast, it was then reverted back to its originally inanimate nature. Which begs the question, if a living being, meaning an animal, is shot with the same blast, would that result in the death of that creature? I mean, something this dangerous enough to lead to an instant death deserved to be well hidden within the McDuck manor. But then again, this is coming from the same family that originally couldn't protect their in case of the end of the world machine safe during an alien invasion. Soon the immediate family once again surrounds both Phantom, Blot, and Pepper, only this time they decide to retreat. By the way, I totally call shipping them. Anyways, that just about concludes the episode, with everyone learning that even the pettiest of disputes never changes the fact that they are still family and love one another. Also, I'm predicting the statuing of everyone included within Webby's photo, or maybe even actually Scrooge, since he would be the obvious pick. Just saying. However, there was this cryptic thought that came to mind, and it's that Scrooge becomes a sacrifice or something similar, leading to a well-deserved honorary statue of him and his legacy. But this is just a random, dark theory in my head. Hopefully this doesn't actually happen, because I mean, that's extreme. But that's the end of the video. Don't forget to keep supporting me by sharing the videos, liking them, commenting, and of course, subscribe if you for some reason still haven't. I can tell you right now that 2020 was not the year for 200k subscribers, but I got a feeling that this year is the time. So don't stop supporting. I'll try and dish out more videos from time to time, so I'll keep you posted, and I will catch you all in the next one. Peace!